What's going on, guys? Tyler here from T-Rod Outdoors, and today we're going to be going over arrow building and what I like to do when I build my arrows to turn this bare shaft into this ready to hunt arrow. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's get into it. So I guess we'll go over some of the things that you'll need first to get started. So obviously, you need your bare arrow shafts. Right now, I'm just working on 4 of them. These are Carbon Express Mutinies, bare shafts. They've already been cut to 31 inches because I have a 29.5 inch draw, so I like to leave about 1.5 inches hangover to give plenty of room for clearance for my broadheads, so that way it doesn't come into effect with, especially my hand when you're holding the bow at full draw. You want plenty of clearance for it to be sticking like this on the bow so that your hand isn't close to those blades. So we got the arrows. I'm going to be using a boning fletching jig. This is just the straight clamp. They also make a helical, but I like to run mine straight, so we got a straight clamp. You'll need some hot melt glue to glue in your inserts. The insert is the thing that the broadhead or field point screws into. I'm going to be using some platinum Fletch-Tite for to glue on my vanes. You're also going to need your nocks. So right here we just have 4 orange nocks. Here's the inserts I was talking about. And then I'm just going to be putting field tips on these for now. And then the other thing you're going to need is a lighter, so that way you can put in the inserts. And then your fletching. So I got blue, orange, the American flag, red, black, only 2 more white, so I can't use white today. And then I got pink and then neon yellow. So I think for today I'm going to be doing 2 yellow and an orange with an orange knock. Should be high visibility for after the shot, so you can track your arrow down. So first thing I like to do is take the knock and push it into the arrow, and I just like to make sure I line them all up the same with the mutiny thing, the mutiny logo. It doesn't necessarily make a difference, but for me it's more or less a look thing. I like them all to be exactly the same if I can help it. So line that up, and there's one. I'm going to do that for all 4. Okay, so now that I have that done, next thing you're going to want to do is get an insert ready and your hot glue, and you want to have an arrow ready. And for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the flame and just melt some of the hot glue and then run this around so the hot glue gets on it, and then stick it into this end of the shaft. Just want to melt the hot glue. You don't want to catch it on fire. Once you get a little bubble, take this and you just rub it all along there. And then while it's still hot, push it in your shaft and just rotate it as you're pushing it. And then once it's rotated, push down. I like to get on the workbench and give it a final seating right there. And then just let that cool, and all of this blob that you see, the excess glue that came out, that'll just peel right off once it's cooled. So I'm going to go ahead and do these other 3. So then all of this excess glue just peels right off. Then you can go ahead and trash the excess glue. Then your insert is in there. So I'm just gonna peel off all this excess glue on all four that we just glued in. And there's the fourth one, nice and clean. Okay. So the next step in this process is to pick your first arrow, one of four. And you want to start with what's known as the cock vein, which is the odd color one. So our odd color vein is going to be orange. We're going to have one orange and then two yellow. So with this, you want to make sure that your fletching jig is straight up and down in here. I don't know if you can see that in there. So that way you're doing the right one, or else your arrow alignment will be all messed up. So you just want to sit it in there, and then you take the clamp here and you get your fletching right in there. You see I drew a gold line right here on the fletching jig. That's just where I like to, I always do mine all the same, so I just put a mark there because it's easier to tell than looking at all these little marks that this thing already has on it. So then once it's in there, you're going to want to set it out of the way for now and get your Fletch-Tite Platinum ready. Take the cap off. And then all you want to put on here is an extremely thin bead. It does not take much. You do not want a whole lot of excess, because then it just oozes out everywhere and it just doesn't look good. So you take it like that. And then the fletching jig makes it easy. Just make sure your arrow is all the way seated. Put the magnetic piece on, and then push it down. And I like to just hold steady pressure, not a ton of force, but just steady pressure, just for about, I don't know, 15 seconds ought to be enough. Then you can let go of constant pressure, unclip it, and right there is the first vein of many. See, we got a little excess on this side, but if you catch it quick enough, you can take a scrap piece of something and just smooth it out. And then you can never tell it was even there. So we'll put it back into the fletching jig. And then you want to take the handle of the fletching jig and click it one time. So right there it clicked. That's it indicating that we need to stop there. So then we're going to go 2 yellows. Only one at a time though. So you take the yellow one, just like we did the orange, seat it in there. Make sure it's lined up. The end of it is lined up with our yellow fletching. Then we take the Fletch-Tite and just do another small bead. Make sure the arrow is seated. Drop it on there. And then hold pressure 15 seconds. Okay. And then got a little bit of excess again, so I'm gonna just wipe it off there. There we go. And I'll put it back in the way we had it. Right like that. And I'll click it to its final position. And then load up another one. Same deal, little bead of Fletch-Tite. That is 1 arrow. We have 3 more. So then I'll just set it out of the way over to the right side of the screen so it can dry. Make sure you click it again because we're starting on the cock vane. Alright, and there you guys have it. That's how you go from bare shaft to ready to hunt hunting arrow. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and catch you guys next one.